Like in
Great.
I'd like to call to order the Board of Alderman meeting for November 1st, 2021. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Please check your phones to make sure they're all quiet. Thank you very much. May I have roll call, please?
Alderman Beelan.
Here.
Alderman Counts.
Here.
Administrator Durker.
Here.
Mayor Cozy.
Here.
Attorney Voss.
Here.
Alderman Foster.
Here.
Alderman Sykes.
Here. Everybody join me for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First item on the agenda is the consent agenda. We have the council report October 15th, 2021 through October 28th, 2021, and the Board of Alderman meeting minutes October 18th, 2021.
Make a motion to accept the consent agenda as printed. Second.
Have a roll call, please.
Alderman Foster.
Aye.
Alderman Beelan.
Aye.
Alderman Counts.
Aye.
Alderman Sykes.
Aye.
The next thing on the agenda is ordinances. We have bill number 2021-23, an ordinance amending a section of the Code of Ordinance to align with Missouri state law regarding Sunday sales of alcohol. Administrator Durker, do you care to explain this item, please?
Yes, so recently there was some laws after COVID-19 that changed at the state level, and one of those was regarding Sunday sales of alcohol. Basically, in the proposed changes that I have presented there, the main change is the fact that alcohol will be able to be sold on Sundays the same times as it's able to be sold the other days of the week. It used to be set up different, and there were certain time frames. But if you'll notice, bullet point B of the code, it actually adds in that new change. on the Code of Ordinances. Basically, it adds in any person or employee of said business holding a license for Sunday sales may, in addition to the hours set forth, sell liquor at retail between the hours of 6 a.m. on Sunday and 1:30 a.m. on Monday. So again, that just changes that and outlines the on-premises consumption details as well.
Does anyone in the audience have any questions concerning this ordinance? Any discussion with the board?
I would like to introduce bill number 2021-23 for first and second reading by title only.
An ordinance amending Chapter 4, Article 2, Licenses, Section 4 through 29 and 4 through 29.1 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of St. Clair, Missouri regarding times for Sunday sales of alcohol. An ordinance amending Chapter 4, Article 2, Licenses, Section 4-29 and 4-29.1 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of St. Clair, Missouri regarding times for Sunday sales of alcohol.
I'll move to approve bill number 2021-23 as read.
Second.
May I have roll call, please?
Alderman Velen.
Aye.
Alderman Counts.
Aye.
Alderman Prosser.
Aye.
Alderman Sykes.
Aye.
Bill 2021-23 becomes ordinance 2040. The next item on the agenda is bill number 2021-24, an ordinance amending a section of the Code of Ordinance to align with a recent Missouri case decision regarding peddlers and solicitors. Administrator Durker, do you care to explain this item, please?
Yes. In the recently there was a Missouri case held in St. Louis County, and it was determined a couple of things. This ordinance and the next ordinance basically are in reference to that change. One of the items was peddlers and solicitors better explaining how they're defined and what they must do. So you'll notice that currently our ordinance states peddlers and solicitors shall not operate within the city until they have registered with the city clerk. This adds a line that states peddlers and solicitors shall not include any person soliciting property or financial assistance of any kind, including advocating for a political cause, soliciting votes, or seeking petition signatures. So again, this just aligns with the recent court case that was determined in St. Louis County.
Does anyone in the audience have any questions concerning this ordinance? Any discussion with the board?
What does that have to do with vagrancy?
That's the next one.
That's the next one.
Oh, that's the next one. No, I'm sorry. See me back when we get to that one.
I'd like to introduce bill number 2021-24 for first and second reading by title only.
An ordinance amending Chapter 13, Article 3, Peddlers and Solicitors, Section 13 through 40 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of St. Clair, Missouri to clarify the definition of peddlers and solicitors. An ordinance amending Chapter 13, Article 3, Peddlers and Solicitors, Section 13 through 40 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of St. Clair, Missouri to clarify the definition of peddlers and solicitors.
I move to approve bill number 2021-24 as read. Second.
May I have roll call, please?
Alderman Prosser.
Aye.
Alderman Velen.
Aye.
Alderman Counts.
Aye.
Alderman Sykes.
Aye.
Bill number 2021-24 becomes ordinance 2041. The next item on the agenda is bill number 2021-25, an ordinance vacating a section of the Code of Ordinance to align with the recent Missouri case decision regarding vagrancy. Administrator Durker, do you care to explain this item, please?
Yes, this was also determined based on the same recent case. Basically, in that case, it was determined through the Eastern District Court of Missouri that found that vagrancy ordinance adopted by St. Louis County was unconstitutional, and that basically our ordinance is very similar to that one that this County of St. Louis had adopted. So this again was one of those that needed to be updated based on that court case to help protect us from possibly getting any future lawsuits in that aspect.
Does anyone in the audience have any questions concerning this ordinance? Any discussion with the board?
Mr. Voss, could you explain that a little better?
It's pretty obvious that the Supreme Court in St. Louis County, you know, if you want to wander around town and not have means of support, you can't make that a crime.
Okay.
That's pretty much the down and dirty. Just 'cause you may think them a vagrant, they may not think they're a vagrant. You can't. People can do what they want. So that's the reason why. Because we've actually had calls. It's the St. Louis County case reconfirmed what's there before, but we've had calls with the police department whenever you'll see people standing around or whatever that get them out of here, they're a vagrant. Well, we can't enforce this ordinance. It's unconstitutional. So let's get it off the books so we're not even tempted to use it because courts, this recent case found it to be, you know, inapplicable and unconstitutional. So that's all I can tell you.
Thank you.
I would like to introduce Bill number 2021-25 for first and second reading by title only.
An ordinance vacating Article 16, Sections 16 through 14 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of St. Clair, Missouri regarding vagrancy. An ordinance vacating Article 16, Sections 16 through 14 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of St. Clair, Missouri regarding vagrancy.
I move to approve Bill number 2021-25 as read.
Second.
May I have roll call, please?
Alderman Sykes.
Aye.
Alderman Veland.
Aye.
Alderman Prosser.
Aye.
Alderman Counts.
Aye.
Bill number 2021-25 becomes ordinance 2042. The next item on the agenda is Bill number 2021-26, an ordinance amending a section of the Code of Ordinance to remove a conflict in the code regarding parking of trailers and recreational vehicles. Administrator Decker, do you care to explain this item?
Yes, this was brought by the building department recently that it was determined that two codes within the city in a way basically contradicted each other. One stated that recreational vehicles, farm equipment, boat trailers could be parked in the yard as long as the grass was maintained underneath. Another section in the code says that the recreational vehicles must be parked on a hard surface or on a gravel lot and must be on the side lot or the back of the property but not in front of the property, and that it can't just be on grass. So basically what this does is this removes bullet point E under section 14-236. You'll see that at the back on page 4 of the documents regarding this ordinance. And that just removes the section that allows them to be parked on the grass on the property. They would have to be maintained on the side of the property or the back of the property on a hard surface or gravel surface.
I'd like to introduce Bill number 2021-26 for first and second reading by title only. Okay, sorry. It's okay.
Does anybody in the audience have any questions concerning this ordinance? Any discussion with the board?
I'd like to introduce Bill number 2021-26 for first and second reading by title only.
An ordinance amending Chapter 14, Article 7, Parking Section 14-236 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of St. Clair, Missouri to remove a conflict in the Code of Ordinances regarding the parking of trailers and recreational vehicles. An ordinance amending Chapter 14, Article 7, Parking Section 14-236 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of St. Clair, Missouri to remove a conflict in the Code of Ordinances regarding the parking of trailers and recreational vehicles.
I move to approve Bill number 2021-26 as read. Second.
May I have roll call, please?
Alderman Veland.
Aye.
Alderman Prosser.
Aye.
Alderman Counts.
Aye.
Alderman Sykes.
Aye.
Bill 2021-26 becomes ordinance 2043. The next item on the agenda is Bill number 2021-27, an ordinance prohibiting persons under the age of 21 from possessing, purchasing, or attempting to purchase any tobacco products, alternative nicotine products, vapor products, rolling papers, or misrepresentation of age. Administrator Darker, do you care to explain this item?
Yes, this was brought forth by the police department in doing some recent research and just an ongoing issue that seems to be hitting our area is vaping and the amount of people under the age of even 18 or under the age of 21 that are possessing the equipment and utilizing those for tobacco use. And so what this does is increases the age within the city to 21. Currently it's 18. Federal law actually changed in 2019 to change it to 21, but states still have to adopt it. The state of Missouri has talked about it, but they have not formally adopted it to this point. But again, it is under federal law. A minor is anyone under the age of 21. Some cities have already adopted this, but again, Chief might want to add more, but this has continually been an increased problem.
We've had increased reports at school, kids in possession, even all the way down to junior high, of possessing vaping items and the schools used to smoke tobacco products. So that's what brought it to our attention.
Does any, sorry.
No, I was just going to say that's all I have.
Does anyone in the audience have any questions pertaining to this ordinance?
I just had a comment. I think this will give the teachers more authority also whenever they're addressing the situation with kids, because it's down even in the younger, like 5th and 6th grade.
Yeah.
I'd like to introduce Bill number 2021-27 for first and second reading by title only.
An ordinance prohibiting persons under the age of 21 years from possessing, purchasing, or attempting to purchase any tobacco products, alternative nicotine products, vapor products, rolling papers, or misrepresentation of age. An ordinance prohibiting persons under the age of 21 years from possessing, purchasing, or attempting to purchase any tobacco products, alternative nicotine products, vapor products, rolling papers, or misrepresentation of age.
I move to approve Bill number 2021-27 as read.
Second. May I have roll call, please?
Alderman Veland.
Aye.
Alderman Counts.
Aye.
Alderman Prosser.
Aye.
Alderman Sykes.
Aye.
Bill number 2021-27 becomes ordinance 2044. The next item on the agenda is Bill number 2021-28. An ordinance approving a policy and procedure regarding a grievance procedure to address complaints prohibited by Section 504 regarding ADA. Administrator Darker, do you care to explain this item, please?
Yes, under Section 504, you're required to allow complaints and grievance procedures to be put in place to address complaints regarding this section of the Rehabilitation Act of 1973. One of the things that we, during our recent review with CDBG on one of our grants that we received, it was discussed that we needed to update this. So this is why this is being presented before this board, to make us in compliance for that and any future ones going forward, just updating this and making sure it follows all the federal guidelines and recommendations for the grievance procedure and policy.
Does anyone in the audience have any questions concerning this ordinance? Any discussion with the board?
I'd like to introduce Bill number 2021-28 for first and second reading by title only.
An ordinance approving a policy to not... Okay. An ordinance approving a policy to not discriminate on the basis of disability for the city of St. Clair, Missouri, It further adopts an internal grievance procedure to address complaints prohibited by Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act of 1973. An ordinance approving a policy to not discriminate on the basis of disability for the city of St. Clair, Missouri. It further adopts an internal grievance procedure to address complaints prohibited by Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act of 1973.
I'd like to introduce Bill 20... No.
You're going to move to approve.
Oh, I'd like to move to approve. Bill 2021-28 for first and second reading by title.
Second.
Go ahead.
I think we got to say it right, don't we?
I think they've moved to accept the first and second reading by title only and to accept it. So I think it's time for a roll call.
Roll call, please.
Alderman Sykes.
Aye.
Alderman Prosser.
Aye.
Alderman Counts.
Aye.
Alderman Beelan.
Aye. Bill number 2021-28 becomes ordinance 2045. We'll give our alderman a break. All of our ordinances for this evening.
That's a record.
7 ordinances? Or no, 6.
Okay, there is no unfinished business on the agenda. Moving on to new business. Bank certificate of deposit, renewal date November 20th. Renew or put it in money market. Administrator Darker, do you care to explain this item, please?
Yes, at the last, back in August, you'll recall, I brought this before the board for consideration. We had another CD that was due. Just for administration's comfort level, it would probably be nice to go ahead and just take the CD and put it back in money market and make these funds a little more fluid, especially since we've paid out roughly $1.5 million on our project at the wastewater plant, kind of depleted what was in money market. So we're still plenty healthy, plenty good, but just want to make those monies very easily available if needed. So that would be our ask, is that you allow us to go ahead and cash that CD in and put those monies in money market. We just need a simple motion if the board agreed.
Make a motion to move the balance of the CD to the money market.
Second.
Have roll call, please.
Alderman Counts.
Aye.
Alderman Beelan.
Aye.
Alderman Prosser.
Aye.
Alderman Sykes.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next is the election calendar, review of upcoming municipal election with recent date changes. Administrator Durker, do you care to explain this item, please?
Yes, each year we provide the election calendar from Franklin County that's sent over from the county clerk's office. Just a couple of things that I want to mention that are a little different and just bring to your attention. We will have the chief of police, the chief marshal position that'll be available come next April, as well as one alderman in each ward that will be up next April. So with that being said, the general municipal election is held on April 5th. This year, there was some change from the Missouri legislature, basically stating that rather than declaration of candidacy filing typically begins the second week in December, the third week in December and runs through the second week in January. This year it runs from the second week in December through the fourth week in December. So it's December 7th through December 28th. So it's a much shorter time frame, but just wanted to bring that to the board's attention, as that was a major change that came down this year.
Thank you. Next, we have the park supervisor vacancy. Administrator Durker, would you like to explain this item, please?
Yes. Charles Rudloff, who is our current park supervisor, is leaving effective December 3rd. He was fortunate enough to be able to give us a large time frame window of when he will be leaving. So what we have done is go ahead and create that position to put it back out for advertisement, and just wanting to update the board on that it'll be in the paper starting this week, and we should go out on Indeed as well, hoping to fill that position possibly before he leaves, if not just shortly after he leaves there, so we can continue on with that.
Travis, will you be doing an exit interview with him?
Yes. I will complete one of those.
Will we also be posting that on MML's website to target other municipalities for park workers that maybe have some experience in that want to make change?
Yeah, we can, for sure.
The next item on the agenda is the second budget meeting. Administrator Durker, do you care to explain this item, please?
Yeah, ignore the fact that that says November 18th or 25th. I'm not really sure what month that came from, but that was not the right date. So, those are a day in each of those weeks. But looking at the week of November 15th or 22nd for the board to meet to discuss the budget once again. And do we like Mondays, midday? Does that seem to work?
Since we have an Alderman meeting on the 15th, does that work for everyone like it just go around?
That's a better week for me.
Yeah, for me too.
The next week is the holiday week and change in school and work schedules. I'd like to be more flexible.
Okay, November 15th then at noon.
15th at noon. Cross out 18th here. 12. Noon again. And this will be a public meeting again, right? So we'll post.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I also heard that Kim would be providing an entire Thanksgiving meal for that. I'm good with it. Thanks, Kim.
Next on the agenda is the city administrator position. Administrator Durker, would you care to explain this item?
Yes. So at your places, and I believe I notified all the aldermen of this already, but I have turned in my resignation from my position, and based on that, my current contract states that I am to give a 60-day notice. My future employer, meeting with them and talking with them, I would like to get going a little sooner on that. So I have a proposal that I've given to the board for consideration, which I believe you guys will discuss at some point. But just want to say it's been an honor and a privilege to work with you guys, and I know the city will continue to move forward, and wish everyone well and thank everyone for all their hard work and dedication over the last 11 and a half, 12 years. So there's a whole lot more I could say, and I would probably get emotional, so I'll just leave it at that.
Next on the agenda, Attorney Pauls.
Nothing at this time, Mayor.
Administrator Durker.
I have nothing more at this time. Just that one thing, the fall cleanup is this week. So it's Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday.
Wednesday, Thursday. Is it during business hours, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Saturday, what time?
Same times.
8 to 3:30.
Yes.
Public Works, Mr. Ivy.
Nothing at this time.
Chief Work. Planning and Zoning, Alderman Beelan.
I don't have anything at this time to report.
Oh, you're zooming tonight. Other business, Mayor, the only thing I really had is that Veterans Day, and we can get a post put out to the public. Before Mr. Bursey left, he had wanted a small memorial out here. So the JROTC will present the colors, and we'll place a wreath on the memorial and the volunteer plaque as well. And that'll be at 10:30 on the 11th, and we'll post the whole thing out on Facebook to let everyone know. Do any of the board members have anything?
I had 2 questions. Do we think that would be possible to get the cleanup times, again, a reminder out on Facebook this week before, or at least like by Wednesday morning? I think that'd be really helpful for the residents. And then just looking for a Main Street update, like, do we have a time frame for completion? How did we do staying on budget? Like all of those types of questions. Like, can we get an update on how that project went?
They finished pouring the last of the concrete today, so hopefully we get through the morning without pretty pictures. And we are still waiting. We have a possible anonymous donor, and so we're waiting to talk with them before we do anything else with the project. If they have input and what they're wanting to do. I went out and did a count today with my ideas, but I don't want to do anything until we speak with anonymous, which is that sometime soon.
Yeah. I hopefully.
Okay. So as far as that goes, and I'm pretty sure that we have stayed in budget because we had somebody donate a lot of their time for the finishing. So that's going to cost very little. Was that all? Did I miss one? Okay.
I just would like to say Travis has done an excellent job for the last however many years you've been in this position, 8.5.
Yeah.
In this position, if you don't follow along with the meetings as they are, his master's or whatever is in finance, and he has done an excellent job with our finances. Today in one of our meetings, when he first started, the thing that, this is just one little thing, the list of debts was 2 pages long when he got this job, and now it's down to like a half of a page. And he has done excellent with the city's finances, and I just wanted everyone to realize that has been his expertise, and he has done an excellent job in all areas, but especially I feel like in that area. And we commend you for that.
Do any of the board members have anything they'd like to add? Thank you, Alderman Counts, for that. Does anyone in the audience have anything they'd like to address the board with this evening? May you please come up and state your name and address.
Ralph Black, 980 Clay Street. Travis, a couple questions for you.
Yeah.
One is, I sent you a text message a couple days, know you're busy. It's fine. What does any contractor have to do to get on the list of projects the city's going to do, whether it's up for bid, you're going to donate your time, going to do it at a discounted price, any of that stuff?
In the past, we haven't necessarily kept a list per se. That's something we can do, but we haven't necessarily kept a list for certain type of work, I guess I should say.
Gotcha.
So you wanted to be on a list for...
Well, the reason I ask is even though I own a lawn care business, we do concrete work, we do parking lot maintenance, we do landscaping, we do a lot of stuff. So for people that doesn't know, think, oh, he just does lawn care and that's it. And I get that a lot. The reason I text you and asked you that was I seen Dogwood Contracting uptown for doing the concrete. Did that go up for bid? Was that an in-house job? That's what I was told. But how is it an in-house job if it's a contractor doing the work?
Yeah.
And I know the people, so I know more than probably what most of all these people know. So my question is did they really get paid? Are they going to get paid? Or are they really donating their time?
Okay. Well, I will say that that was the Main Street project, and the mayor handled a lot of that. I know she had contacted him as well as, I believe, one or two others for quotes. So I don't know what the determination was there, but I know that she contacted them. And if you want to explain what price was quoted or how that was determined.
I don't know the specific price. I know a lot of it was donated, and 2/3 of it was written off. So he donated 2/3 of the time. We were only being charged for 1/3. But yes, there were other bids.
So if they wouldn't have donated it, then would the project still been under budget? And then is there a dollar amount to where the project, if it's under a certain amount, that it don't have to actually go up for bid? Or if it exceeds it, if the estimated price of this job is, let's say any job is 20 grand, well, that has to go up for bid. But if it's under a certain amount, it doesn't have to?
Yeah, so if it's under, policy states that if it's under $25,000, we're not necessarily required to go get bids, but we are required to, or we're not required to put it out to bid, but we're required to get bids. Typically, that means a minimum of 3 bids are required to be received, and then you review those bids and determine from there.
Gotcha. Because I'm hearing conflicting stories, is the reason I ask is, yes, they're getting paid, no, they're not getting paid. So in the end, will this all come out? Can anyone see the breakdown of this project?
Yes, that should have all been submitted with Chris Campbell, because we were given a quoted price by the board for the set amount of concrete. And the concrete was overfigured, so that allowed for, didn't realize our guys were not finishers. So the price that was given was under the allowance for the total cost of the concrete in the finishing. So the first bid, there's no way we would have been able to afford it. And then he came in and wanted to donate 2/3 of his time. We poured, they finished.
Gotcha. So let me ask you this. Who poured and finished the concrete piece of sidewalk beside the old Farmer Merchants Bank going down? Is it Ridge? No. Ridge. Say you live over there. Ridge. Who poured that piece of concrete?
Wiseman Concrete.
Was it Wiseman? Okay. Okay. That's all I want to. I was told the city did. That's why I asked. I was like,
No, it was Wiseman.
was it Wiseman? Okay. All right. That's what all my questions.
Thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone else have anything they would like to speak with the board about this evening?
Can I ask just a question for clarification? So when you say that the project is under budget, is the total budget for the project is what you expected to be the $5,000 that the board voted on, or was that just for concrete? Because I think I might have misinterpreted that information. I thought the entire project would cost $5,000, including all of the work needed. But now I think I'm hearing that it's only the concrete that was $5,000. So was the rock and the equipment needed for all of that stuff, was all of that additional to the $5,000?
No, the rock and concrete was all together. It was our labor, but
Okay.
the materials to do the concrete work.
Okay. Okay.
All aspects of the concrete.
Okay.
Anyone else? At this time, I'll be closing the public meeting, go into executive session to discuss negotiating a contract and/or personnel. May I have a motion, please?
Motion to enter executive session to discuss contracts and/or personnel.
Second.
May I have roll call, please?
Alderman Sykes.
Aye.
Alderman Beelan.
Aye.
Alderman Counts.
Aye.
Alderman Prosser.
Aye.